Hello, Mike.
Tony,
How are you doing this morning?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
I'm great. I'm anxious to talk to you. Of course, as a kid, space has always been, that wonderful, wonderful fuel for my imagination, and so to talk to
Mhm.
astronauts is always a pleasure.
I'm glad you feel that way. Thanks.
Well, I hope it was the same for you when you were a kid. I mean, the amazing
Oh,
scientific advances and just like, as I said, how it sparked the imagination.
yeah, I can go back to the Apollo. I was 6 years old during Apollo 11, and I think the first astronaut I actually got to meet and talk to was Jim Lovell, and that's when I had just graduated college, and he was giving a talk, and I was in total awe of that guy. Since then, I've gotten to know him a bit, and he's still one of my heroes. So it's kind of cool how that kind of thing comes around.
Yeah, my father worked at JPL for a long, long time. He was the quality assurance inspector for NASA, and so I got to meet everybody as a kid, which
Cool.
was amazing for a little kid to do. Um,
Yeah.
but on Wednesday, we have an historic event. It's been since 2011 that we've sent men, up in space. This is a historic event.
Yeah, men or women is the first. We haven't we've launched them into space. Our men and women astronauts have been launching from Kazakhstan, going on the Russian Soyuz rocket since we retired the space shuttle in 2011. So we've had people in space. We got my friend Chris Cassidy's up there right now, an American, along with a couple Russians. But this significance of this is that we're launching from U.S. soil again, and it's two Americans we'll be launching from U.S. soil on Wednesday. And it's a bit of a twist. It's part of our commercial crew program. When we retired the shuttle, what NASA said, instead of them creating another vehicle, they kind of challenged private enterprise to create a vehicle that we would help pay for, support, and then use as a paying customer. And that's what we're seeing now with the SpaceX vehicle. There's another vehicle made by Boeing, but SpaceX is going to be getting to space first with their vehicle. So it's historic for a lot of reasons.
Do you see this as kind of a forward into privatizing space travel?
Absolutely. This is I think one of the reasons our government is there is to help promote commercial activity and start things that maybe commercial enterprise isn't ready for yet, and get it going and help them get going. And space has been really a tough thing to explore. Right? It's expensive. It's got a lot of risks involved. But NASA has done that, started doing that, sending people into space and going to the moon and in the space shuttle program. And I think these companies, some of these entrepreneurs like Elon Musk and Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos, who all have space companies, they were watching and learning and hiring people when they started their space companies, and trying to use the technology that was there, that the know-how and the experience, but then building with the modern technology and ingenuity. And that's what we have going now. This is truly a different way of doing business for the government, and they have companies now competing to take astronauts into space, and that's what we hope to have a thriving private commercial program, and that's the only way I think we're going to achieve everything we want to in space exploration, is to have a thriving commercial business.
It is just a wonderful, wonderful time because I think there's a rebirth and interest in space exploration. I've been to Richard Branson's facility out in New Mexico, and it is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it is, and he's done some great things. I haven't been out to the one in New Mexico, but I've got a tour of his plant. I went to a launch that they had from Mojave, one of their test flights, and got a chance to tour the facility out there, and it's quite remarkable. And I'm a professor now at Columbia, and I teach engineers, particularly those who are interested in space travel. And a lot of them go to work for NASA or the big companies, but a lot of them also want to work for these private companies too that are doing some interesting things. And I think that's what a lot of young people find interesting, because they can not only be space explorers and contribute to that, but also be entrepreneurs. So that was something that wasn't possible when I was their age.
I think Elon Musk is really great about including a lot of different people in his vision. He knows he can't do it alone.
No, you can. You need a lot. That's why I think you need diversity as well. You need diversity of thought, of different types of people. Different people think differently, and you want to get as many different types of ways of thinking and solving problems together. And that's the only way you can solve big problems and do these things. So yes, I agree. I think to his credit, he's been able to get that diversity of people and thought together to be successful.
Well, I want to thank you for your time this morning. I've always wanted to go into space, and you do it for us. So thank you for that. And again, a Wednesday, hopefully, if everything goes right and the weather is good, we'll have a launch.
Yeah, we hope so. We always just look at it that we're going to attempt to launch that first day. But hopefully things are proceeding. Their flight readiness review, which is a big step, that's been successful. And as you said, hopefully weather and everything else cooperates, and we'll have a good show. We'll have a good show anyway on Wednesday, because we've got a lot of good stuff to share with the audiences on the Discovery and Science channels. But hopefully we'll be able to finish it off with a launch. I'm pretty confident that'll work out. Looking good.
Mike, thank you so much for your time this morning.
You bet. My pleasure. Thanks, Tony.